Wild and wonderful. This is a bee. There are many kinds of bees. This one is a honeybee, and this is what it eats. Can you see the bits that look like white fingers in the middle of this flower? They're covered in pollen, and that's the white dust you see on those bits. Bees eat pollen. That's why they go to flowers. But they also eat nectar. Just look at how this digger bee has its head right in the middle of this yellow flower. It's drinking the delicious sugar and water mix that plants make in their flowers. We call this mix nectar. Pollen and nectar are great foods for bees and other insects because it fills them with energy. And best of all, they can find them in the countryside, at the roadside, in gardens, all those places where flowers grow wild. Just look at all the different shapes and colours of these flowers. They grow on their own, with no one watering them or caring for them, just the rain when they get it. Many people call them weeds. Is that a good word? A weed is a plant you don't want. But there are so many bees and other insects who want these plants. They need them. Have a look at this. In this photo, we're looking right inside a beehive. And look, those are young bees. Young bees don't have any wings, and they look like grubs or worms. When they grow older, they change into a bee with wings, just like a caterpillar changes into a butterfly. But wait a moment. So how do young bees eat pollen and nectar if they can't get at the flowers because they can't fly? Here's the answer. You're looking at another part of the hive. It's the store. And it's a honey store. When a bee goes back to the hive, it passes its nectar to another bee, who chews it and chews it and chews it until it turns into honey. Then she stores the honey in the hive. Look, here's a bit of the honey store cut in half. Can you see how each part is filled with honey? Well, when the bees have young, they feed them this honey. So now you know why bees make honey and how people find honey in beehives. So how does it all work? The queen stays inside, giving orders to her workers to go in every direction to find flowers and bring back pollen and nectar to feed her and the young. But how do they know where to find flowers? They don't. That's why different bees go in different directions. Some go left, some go right, some go straight, some go... Okay, you get my point. When a bee finds a patch of flowers like this one, it eats and eats until it's full. My goodness, look at all those flowers. This plant is a sticky Fleabane, and it's growing out of an old cement road, just between the cracks. Amazing. And what's more, it grows at the end of a long, hot, dry summer. It's got so many flowers, the bee just walks from one to another, doesn't even have to fly. Isn't that amazing? When the bee has had all the pollen and nectar it can carry, it flies back to the hive, and inside it does a dance. That's right, a dance. It's called a waggle dance. It waggles this way and that way to show the other bees where she found the flowers. Why don't you look it up on the internet under bee dance or waggle dance? The other bees see how excited she is when dancing, and that way they can know whether there are a lot of flowers or a few. Also, when she dances, she wiggles in the direction of where she found the flowers. Once the other bees have understood, They fly off in the direction the first bee showed them. And this is why a patch of flowers fills up with so many bees quite fast. Bees are not the only ones who need flowers growing in the countryside. Look at all these different animals. Without our wildflowers, there would be no food for hundreds and hundreds of bees and insects like these. Can we really call them weeds? Or perhaps we should care for them so much that we should leave spaces around our homes and our streets, our gardens, our fields, for wildflowers to grow. Why don't you make your school grounds a better place for bees and all the other insects and pollinators? It's very easy. Just find or make a patch of soil, you can use flower pots, and let the wildflowers grow. But be careful, you have to tell others that your wildflower patch is very special, or they will think this is just a bit of soil nobody cares about. Make a notice, pop it into the soil. Then anyone who passes by will learn from your example just how important wildflowers are.